Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram users. This is Fobio Fuego. And not only that, I'm here with one other person here. And I'd like to say his name. His name is Charlie Boy. How you doing, Charlie Boy? This is, this is episode 5, right? This is our 5th episode. It's crazy. We've actually been growing. Episode 5 of Wrestlers of Baytown. This is a continuation of podcasts that we've been doing the last few weeks. We've been talking about a lot of stuff that's happening around wrestling and wrestlers and stories that catch our attention.
Awesome stories. Just basically a podcast of friends from small slash not really that small city of Baytown, Texas. Talking about wrestling stuff and whatnot. Notably absent is our third co-host once again, Cliff. Unfortunately, he'll be back with us one day. I'm sure.
But here's the thing, though. He is alive.
He's alive. He is.
He's alive. He did. We swear. He messaged us earlier today. He let us know that he is breathing and kicking. So hopefully we get to see him like in this podcast tonight and get to hear from him.
Yep.
But until then, we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Yes,
and if you're watching this live on Twitch, I'd just like to say thank you for watching. Please subscribe to Charlie Boy's Twitch channel. He does a lot of gaming content on there, and as well as tournaments. Also, check out our Spotify. We have episode 1 exclusively on there. That was from our all-in debut on the podcast scene. So check that out.
Yep.
First and foremost, like Charlie Boy, how was your weekend, man? How was it? Was it good? Was it bad? Could have been better.
Well, it could have been better, I guess. Yesterday ended up being a little rough, as my mom actually ended up getting locked out of the car, unfortunately. So I had to go deal with that. Her door handle, it was actually my car, but I was at home, so I had to find a ride to her. And her door handle messed up. But other than that, everything, pretty good. I had a Mega Man 2 randomizer tournament match that I won, and I placed, me and a team of people placed 7th in an Apex tournament out of 17 teams. So not too bad,
Not too bad at all.
Other than that, watching some of these crazy wrestling stories unfold, it was a lot. And my buddy, shout outs to Tommy. He had his baby today. He had.
Congratulations!
Yeah. So shout outs to him if he happens to listen. Awesome stuff. All little Frankie Mason coming into the world. But regardless, you wanna go down over some of the topic lists. We'll try to do kind of like a similar format we did last time, kind of give around 5 to 7 minutes per topic, and then maybe a little bit longer if we feel like expanding on a topic, or maybe a little less, or combine topics as necessary, or whatever the case may be.
That's fine. We can do that.
All right. What you got for our topic list? You want to go down them real quick
so
for like a table of contents for people to?
Yeah, table of contents, what I have, and it's a little out of order, so I do apologize for that. Whenever these were written, these were before the week actually happened, so things got updated. Jade Cargill possibly leaving AEW. The next topic is The Rock returning to SmackDown this past Friday. EC3 and OVW. I want to talk about what he's doing there. Nia Jax returned on Raw this past Monday. The WWE UFC merger, which is now complete and now known as TKO. So that's what I have. Unless you have anything else to add to that, I'm willing to hear that too.
Well, I have a few things, but I can work some of them into the topics you have, and then other things can be like just quick fire topics, like maybe Impact 1000 happened, and the Dudley Boys, or AKA Team 3D, known in Impact Wrestling as Team 3D, made a
Yeah.
return to the ring. So that was something I wanted to go over. I kind of wanted to go over Becky Lynch becoming the new NXT champion, and
Yes.
little quick fire about maybe Fuego del Sol, formerly All Elite Wrestling's Fuego del Sol is now a wrestling and a champion in an indie promotion, and then John Moxley versus Big Bill angle, kind of Blackpool Combat Club versus Big Bill, Ricky Starks type. We can touch on those. We don't have to go into like too much detail on that kind of stuff. But I wanted to mention. I did want to mention real quick before we start that NXT Scary Botch we talked about last time. I took a look at it and I think it's a work. I don't think he really got hurt, but that's just me. But now we can transition into whatever you. What was the first topic? Jade Cargill. Or I mean, do you have any thoughts about me thinking that NXT's Scary Botch is a work? I think I lost him. I think I lost old Fuego. He'll be back.
You got me here?
He's here.
Here, I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
you're good.
So going back to what I was saying, so like I mentioned before, I talked about it last week. If I felt like, man, it was like a scary botch, but in certain angles, I even said it in the podcast, it looked as if it might be a work. And after reviewing it over and over again, looking at different angles, I I could definitely say, and I do agree with you that I do feel that this is a work. They just camouflaged it really, really well, and also due to the fact that how NXT kind of portrayed it the week after it happened. Like they didn't really say that this is like something that was supposed to happen, or this was something that wasn't planned. It turned out that they treated it as because of the attack of I guess you could say Braun Breaker, that this was the angle that they were going for. They just made it look super, super good.
Yeah,
I was super convinced, man. Like I said, it looked real.
It did look real, but the fact, like, what stands out to me is the fact that they knew to cut the camera. You know, like that kind of tells me, hey,
You're not allowed to show headshots.
true, but I mean, in live television, mostly what they do is they pause the frame, right, and then they update the frame to the next live frame, not just straight up black out the camera like they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, now that that just gave me an idea, I'm gonna try to look up some sound effects for say work versus shoot, you know, so we can like so like if we think it's a work, I'll do like construction sound effects or something, and then like if we think it's a shoot, it'll be like a gun or something like pew pew or something. Like that. But okay, so this one was called a work, but all right. Without further ado, shall we start our first topic? I'll start the timer. All right, Jade Cargill, possibly moving to WWE.
Yeah. Well, leaving AEW and possibly going to WWE.
Right.
So this came at a weird time because she recently came back on an episode of Collision to kind of confront Statlander, and I was thinking like, I'm glad she's back. She's gonna do some work, and he was talking good with Tony Khan, and I'm thinking everything's all hunky dory. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I hear rumors of people saying that she's going to be leaving All Elite Wrestling due to her contract being expired.
Well, so that episode, it was actually Rampage, but so.
Oh no, was she returned?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was an episode it was on Rampage. Yeah, it was for the TBS title. It was like her. It's like a rematch after losing, right? After losing the belt, she like get the contractually obligated rematch or whatever. So she got that. She got that that rematch, but then it was kind of also a send off, right? Because she got to like give a big hug in the ring, kind of like what's it called? Where Hogan or not Hogan, sorry, where Nash and Hall left for WCW, and then they hugged, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Okay. So,
It was kind of like that.
like what I was saying before, he returned on Collision. She had her match on Rampage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that might be it. That might be it. She might have.
Yeah. 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 Because that's what I was talking about.
Okay,
So
sorry, I confused it.
yeah, it's okay. So basically, like, we were thinking she was gonna be there a while, but then all these rumors came up that she was gonna be leaving due to her contract expiring, and I was like intrigued by the story, and I'm thinking, okay, I gotta see what's going on with the match that's gonna happen on Rampage because it was for the TBS title against Chris Statlander and Jade Cargill, and looking at the match was like very like it was like very entertaining. She looked a little, she what I like about Cargill is she looks a little bit less telegraphed nowadays because whenever she first started, she kind of like you can tell she was green and she was getting better each time that she got into the ring. And and looking at her style, like how the way that she was doing her moves, the way she was carrying herself, I was I was impressed how she was able to still be athletic the way that she's been portrayed. She's been portrayed in a very strong presence, and I was kind of like expecting like if the rumors are true, then Cargill's gonna lose. So going over the match, it was a strong back and forth match. There was a lot of moments where Cargill could have won and where Statlander could have won, and then at one brief moment, Statlander took advantage of a situation, took her out, and retained the title. And as you could tell at the end of the match, Cargill is by default a heel. So she would try to like maybe attack you or get the upper hand on you or like try to say, "Oh, I'll get you next time." This time she looked more humbled and more like accepting of the fact that she lost,
Hmm.
and she left with her head held high, and she gave Statlander a big hug, and she's like, "You're the TBS champion," and basically passed the torch to Statlander.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a great match. I thought it looked nice. You had a bunch of false finishes. I was into it. Um, awesome match. And then yeah, like over the week, I'm seeing reports that she's moving to WWE. That she's scheduled to be at the Performance Center next week. Supposedly, she's gonna skip NXT and head straight for the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
Also to be noted that she's like friends with Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes is in the main roster. So
Yeah,
he's got some pull now that he's back in WWE. Um,
yeah.
so the fact that she's moving over, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they use her. I saw
I
like
do,
flyers for like her versus Bianca Belair as like a dream match flyer, right? But still flyers,
yeah,
nonetheless. Um,
yeah. But as a poster kind of thing, yeah.
yeah, but
As a match graphic, yeah.
other than
So
that,
I have a question for you, Charlie,
yeah.
and I want to know what you think about this. Does her style suit her better in WWE than in AEW? Because I feel that in AEW you actually do have to like perform well as far as your wrestling because that's what we focus on there more than entertainment. Um, do you think her style's gonna mesh well with the WWE style?
I mean, only time's gonna tell, in my opinion, because like she had a strong style, like almost reminiscent. I mean, even I know I compared her last time we talked about her to Goldberg because of the streak, but I mean, her style is similar to his as well. I mean, like she was she wasn't doing like super duper long matches, and like a lot of those some of those wins were like squash match types, right? So
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she'd be like in and out, in and out. She did a few long matches, but
and those are good.
right. So, but like I just haven't seen enough of the long matches to kind of be like, well, I think she needs longer matches.
Yeah.
Think she needs longer matches. I mean, that's about all I can can say if they give her a good opportunity. I mean, if she still does the same boom boom big kick and then jaded finisher in WWE and then 1 2 3, that's it. Maybe for a while, maybe make her look strong. But after so long, what are they going to do with her?
Yeah,
I hope. I hope her wrestling and the longer she gets involved in matches, the better she can improve and the better she looks. And I hope they don't like ruin her or bury her just because she's like an AEW talent or whatever.
yeah, like that's one of the big like fears that I've been having for like like AEW wrestlers going to to WWE. But considering how they treated Cody whenever he went back to WWE, they really didn't change anything on him. Of course, some of his mannerisms, as far as him saying like wrestling or superstars, he's slowly trying to change that. But the fact that I don't know for whatever reason, I feel like when AEW goes to WWE, it's a big deal, and this is another one that's gonna happen. That's kind of like gonna be a big deal too, because Jade has the look. She has everything that she needs. She's like, you know, she's very marketable,
Yeah,
and she
definitely.
carried herself well in AEW to the point to where the only other thing that she had going for her that could have been done was her win the other title that's there.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, but I kind of feel that she has a lot of potential to do great in WWE. And like you said, I hope they don't mess her up because
I mean, worst case scenario, after her WWE contract goes up, she can end up back in AEW. Last final thoughts on this topic as well.
yeah,
She can end up back in AEW. I kind of wanted to squeeze in. Uh, it kind of ties into the topic because after she passed the torch to Statlander, Statlander and Britt Baker had a match the next night, which was phenomenal, and that's not on our topic list. But I at least want to mention it because oh my goodness, that match was. I like that match. I thought that match was really good too. At least the finish of it, but I at least wanted to
was
mention that.
was it on Collision or was it on?
That was on Collision. So Rampage was Statlander versus Jade. Statlander retains the title. She moves on to Collision the next night, defends against Britt Baker. Also retains the title, but the finish was like there was a lot of just like the night before,
Yeah,
a lot of false finishes in the match, and like oh that's got to be it moments, and yeah the finish. I don't know if you got to see it. I don't really want to ruin it if you didn't for you. If you want to go
not
look it
yet,
up.
but I am gonna look at it after this podcast is over.
Well,
But
I'll just say that match was like there's like a lot of women's wrestling. No offense to the women, I just kind of somewhat am interested in it because it's not like it doesn't catch my attention as much. But those two matches, mwah, good stuff.
yeah, AEW's been slacking as of late with their women's wrestling. It's good to see that they're trying to pick it back up, but losing Jade in this whole contract negotiation stuff, it's gonna hurt the division a little bit because she didn't wrestle everybody inside the company. She still had a lot of the wrestlers to go through. So it's kind of it sucks, but I hope she does well. And congratulations to Chris Statlander on defending her title.
Yes, sir. All right. Next topic. What we got?
So next topic is The Rock returned
If you
on Friday
smell.
Night SmackDown. Yes, if you can smell what The Rock is cooking. This was kind of a shock, but not really. Due to the fact of outside forces causing this to happen. So if any of you do not know, currently right now as we speak, there is a writer's strike at the moment where a lot of shows and movies halt production and they're trying to renegotiate their deals to get more money, to get paid better. And because of everything being halted, the actors can't work. So that's why you've seen a lot of people coming back. Like for example, John Cena's back technically, right? Because we didn't even talk about that him being back. He's been what,
Yeah.
maybe 2 weeks, like 2 weeks now.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so how this happened was Pat McAfee returned, starts doing promos. You know, he's talking to everybody, the fans. And Austin Theory comes out, starts talking trash. They have a little back and forth, and then out of nowhere, Pat McAfee just says, "Well, like I'm not the one that started this show, but I know someone that basically did." And then out of nowhere, you hear, "If you smell what the Rock is cooking," and everyone lost their minds. Nobody was expecting him to come back. Rock comes out, starts looking at the crowd. This guy looks older, bro. Noticeably older, but he's still just as jacked up as he looked before, and he still has all those muscles, dude. This man does not. I don't know what it is, man. Like, must be the steroids, must be the like the testosterone coursing through his veins. But this guy still looks good in the ring. Um, him and Theory started having this like little confrontation, and one thing I do like was, I think you mentioned it earlier. We sent a meme in the chat about Rock and Austin the last time they were in the ring together,
Yeah,
which was when? What was the last time they were in the ring?
2003
Yeah, and then Rock and Austin
and 2023.
2023.
Yeah,
And I'm
and
like,
it's
what?
got Austin Theory instead of Stone Cold, which they touched on that in the promo as well, but because Austin Theory was the one who brought it up. He's like, Rock, uh, last time you were in the ring with Austin, you didn't do so hot or something like that. I don't know who won exactly, but he brought it up. He said this time you're gonna be in the ring with like a real Austin or something like that, like not no tired old Stone Cold. And I was just like, I see the resemblance, but also you got to keep in mind Austin Theory got his ass whooped by Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he also got his ass whooped by John Cena. So I mean, an Austin Theory versus Rock angle is kind of like I mean, you see they're trying to set it up for Austin Theory to have a little bit of a push and everything, but he's
But off of the Rock?
he's losing. Yeah. I mean, it's like a rub, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, I'm working with this guy, so it's a rub to that. I mean, it was good to see Rock return. One of those lines he said in there in his promo, I felt he could have transitioned into the SmackDown hotel, and I definitely missed the Rudy Poo lines
Yeah.
that he used to do. But I mean, I guess he's a different Rock now. But yeah, I just thought he was gonna actually, instead of just saying something along the lines of "I'm gonna whoop your ass," I thought he was gonna, transition into, you go ahead and check into the SmackDown hotel where the Rocky's gonna come to your room and whoop that
Yeah, and
candy ass.
and what I heard too is that the segment went a little long. Because which they were talking about it in like in Wrestle Talk today. They're like that he went a little longer than he was supposed to.
Yeah.
But they were mentioning that on YouTube, that day that they actually had him on for like his clip that of his return, day one already had 10 million views. So it shows that people still show interest in The Rock.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only a matter of time if they're gonna decide to try and do something with him. As of right now, I think, like you said, they might be trying to set up an Austin Theory Rock situation going on. Because as of right now, there really is nothing else for The Rock to do at the moment because of the strike.
I do have to mention. I saw some stuff online about them talking about WrestleMania 40 with Rock versus Roman.
In Philly.
I don't know if that was ever mentioned on the show or if Rock even mentioned. I saw the segment with Austin Theory, and I seen Rock backstage with John Cena. Other than that, I didn't really get to watch the show.
So okay,
I just saw the
so
highlights.
So if anything, he The Rock did not talk about anything as far as like potential showdown with Roman during the show. That same day on that Friday, he was on the Pat McAfee show.
Okay.
And that one he goes into great depth about how they actually had pen to paper Rock versus Roman for WrestleMania 39 when they were in Hollywood. And for whatever reason, they could not. They didn't really specify what it was, but the stars did not align enough to where they could be able to actually get the match done. And I think it was because of the Rock's end because of all the movies that he was doing at the time. So that was the issue then. So he does talk about it there. But there's one thing I do want to mention too before we go any forward because it happened on the same show. LA Knight made mention of Roman Reigns for the first time.
Okay. Yeah.
So now I feel like he's gonna be the next one to kind of like start throwing jabs at him and actually having like verbal confrontations with him, which is gonna be interesting to see because a lot of people are behind LA Knight right now. He's super hot right now as far as like the crowd reactions. Everyone wants him to get pushed,
Let me talk
and they
to
want to
you.
see him succeed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So, final thoughts on Rock's return. Anything?
I would just like to think that I hope he's here for a good minute because he needs to kind of like he needs to break himself back in again as far as like ring shape.
Mm.
Um, because last time before he don't get me wrong, he's in shape, but there's a such thing as wrestling shape,
Right.
and hopefully he could actually knock off that ring rust, get back into the groove of things, and become the most electrifying man in sports entertainment again. Because there's a lot of potential there, and I think we do have to keep his age in mind. But I'm happy to see him back, and I can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah.
What about you?
So my final thoughts on this is I saw where it mentioned Rock versus Roman in WrestleMania 40. And that sets up and like you see Cody Rhodes crying in the background or something because he's not going to be versus Roman in WrestleMania 40. But also, I also read somewhere where this is like a storyline that's going to go all the way to 41, where Rock loses to Roman at WrestleMania 40, and then Roman loses to Cody at 41, and that's going to be the end of the story. So I don't know. Final thoughts on Rock's return? Yeah, awesome, cool to see him back. Can't wait to see if he actually is fighting or if it's just like a one-off appearance. But like you mentioned about the actor strike and stuff like that, yeah, I mean it'd be awesome to see him on weekly television programming and stuff again, and hopefully knock off some of this ring rust and give us some awesome moments like Rock versus Austin Theory, Rock versus LA Knight, Rock versus Roman Reigns, Rock versus Cody Rhodes.
So the Usos,
Rock
like one of the Usos, Jimmy or Jay. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of potential of different things that can happen here and here from here on out. Majority of the people, like the one thing he mentioned in the past, he has never wrestled Rey Mysterio. To me,
That'd
that's
be
a dream
good
match.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, that's a dream match.
Yeah, and
So I can't wait to see what happens.
if Edge ain't completely gone just yet from well, I think he is though. But if he wasn't, he could wrestle Edge too. But yeah, I
Oh,
digress.
dude, that's crazy,
He
dude.
just missed
He
Edge.
just missed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he just missed him. I think okay. That I believe they wrestled before, but that's like you're talking about like Attitude Era, like whenever they wrestled. But seeing them wrestle now, I think it would be a nice treat to see.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That'd be dope. So, what we got on next on the list?
Let's see here. We got EC3 in OVW.
The Overman.
The Overman.
Because I'm so over, man. You've heard him say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The defending champion of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Which he will defend the title on Mars.
Yeah. On Mars, baby.
So basically this is what I've been like. What I alluded to from last week. I like to see other wrestlers go to other promotions with their respective titles to kind of like get that rub, to help increase the value of the wrestlers there in another promotion. An example would be when Kenny Omega went to Impact, where he went to go fight for their title, or when Nakamura goes to Japan to go wrestle the Great Muta for his farewell matches tour. Like I love seeing interpromotional wrestling from AEW to NJPW.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree.
Love it.
Love it.
I love it. So, and I always felt that NWA has always been, I don't want to say like the sleeper of the rest of the promotions, like the United States, but comparatively, like to me, is ranked number 4 for like more like a more known wrestling promotion because if anything, they're the oldest. But the fact that they're still alive to this day shows that how great management has been going because of Moby being the owner. As far as like the wrestlers that are coming out of there going to either AEW or WWE have been great, and vice versa. So like wrestlers that have gone from WWE have ended up in NWA. A perfect example was Tyrus and EC3. People that were not utilized well in those promotions thrived in NWA because they got to actually be themselves. And lack of a better term, they controlled their own narrative there and got better over time.
Yeah.
So, at our very first podcast, we mentioned that same day, Charlie Boy mentioned that same day, that
Hmm.
EC3 was fighting Tyrus for the NWA title.
Yep.
Since then, Tyrus has left, and EC3 is the new champion.
Right. He's actually setting up a new angle, which is what I had on my notes. Was and that ties into this topic as well, just a bit anyway. As EC3, the world NWA World's Heavyweight Title holder, versus Thom Latimer, which is the NWA TV title holder. And apparently, I guess there's some sort of rule in NWA to where you cannot, like a champion can't find a champion or something because
Yeah.
apparently Tom Latimer has to drop the TV belt in order to go after the world's title. So that's the angle they're kind of setting up. Which we talked about Camille. Camille has been paired with Tom Latimer as like a manager type role.
Right.
And they were both kind of talking smack to EC3 there, so that's going to be interesting to kind of try to find a highlight video of or something. I mean, they do have NWA Power episodes that they air on YouTube for free, basically up to date, which is kind of like their version of TV. So,
Yeah. So like I've not seen OVW in a hot minute, but OVW has been known to actually produce a lot of big wrestlers that came out of there. Of course, the famous four being John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Batista, Randy Orton. They were like one of the best classes to come out of OVW, and like over like 20 years ago, actually, I should say.
yeah, sure.
In a while. To see that they're still OVW is still thriving. And the one thing that got me back to kind of get notice of OVW, believe it or not, I don't know if you're familiar with the wrestler Jack Vaughn.
I don't think so.
Okay, so recently he reached TikTok fame of being giving like professional wrestlers do this, and he does the action, and then he goes, indie wrestlers do this, and it's a bunch of thigh slaps. So
Yeah.
he makes fun of indie wrestling because he's considered the last professional wrestler, like being
Okay.
like grassroots, old style wrestling, right?
Mm.
Very entertaining. I will say this, dude. I to the people that have never heard of him, give him a watch. Watch some of his videos. You will laugh, and especially if you're a wrestling fan, you will laugh at it a little bit harder because you kind of understand, like sometimes it is a little excessive when they do in indie wrestling,
Hmm.
but it's true, you know.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what got me to kind of like go kind of like not. I granted I've not watched a single match yet, but like I like the fact that wrestlers are having their own way of like making themselves better, but also getting attention back to the product that they're from. And then from there, I find out that the on Netflix there's a show that just dropped called Wrestlers, and it's from OVW, and it's basically like from the mind of Al Snow, how he has to run the matches, like the struggles of actually running an event, which I kind of resonate with it a little bit, and I think you do too because you being a person that's run tournaments before, and me as well. There's
Mm.
a lot of organization. There's a lot of things that go behind the scenes that not a lot of people get to see.
Yeah, I'm
You
mostly
know?
retired from hosting tournaments right now, so. But
No,
yeah,
but you've been
I
through the
yeah
thick
no
of it. You know, like
I've definitely been through the thick of it for the last 10 years. So yeah, I know.
yeah. So it's like you kind of get a better understanding of it of what's going on, and you get to see like how people like they're trying to get their characters over, or how they're trying to deal with certain things here and there. How they're trying to like get their money in because like they're on the brink of bankruptcy because if they don't do well. It's a very compelling show. I do recommend watching that as well. But going back to EC3, um, all of these things that are happening are leading up to like where OVW is like to him
Hmm.
is a legit. It is a legit place because he did train at OVW, so he knows about it.
Right.
He's been there. He's been there before, and to see him back as NWA champion, to see him like he wants to take over, he wants to take control of it. And to me, I figured that I don't know if he's gonna try and do like a belt collector angle,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
would be interesting. But if let's say if he did do that, and because I believe they have two different heavyweight titles, if I'm not mistaken, because I was looking over it.
Hmm.
Because I thought Jack Vaughn was their champion, but it turns out I was wrong. There's an OVW National Heavyweight Champion and there's OVW Heavyweight Champion.
Okay.
So, so right now, like I feel that right now he's having a feud with Mister Spectacular, Goddess. Mister Spectacular is a very good name, I should say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
That's a
yeah, that's pretty funny. I like it. I like it.
yeah,
Um,
Mister Spectacular.
do we have any final thoughts on this one? I'll say my thoughts on OVW. I haven't really watched it too much, but like you said, like Cena, Batista, Lesnar, and Lashley, right?
Yeah,
Come out of them, come out of there. So I mean, obviously a great place for potential. I think NXT was was kind of born
was born
off,
out of that.
yeah, born out of it. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's good to see it thriving again. But yeah, I mean, it's good to see EC3 moving around. That's awesome. I can't wait till if he actually makes an Impact return because he was like hot in Impact before he went to
oh yeah,
WWE, and then of course I'd like to see EC3 in AEW and see how he if he can be hot in
how he
that
fares
wrestling
over there.
promotion
Yeah,
as well. Yeah. So
because
those
like
are my final
I
thoughts
feel
on it.
like I think a missed opportunity a while back was having like an NWA champion at AEW at some point. Like, because to me, what made a wrestler more credible is like if they have like NWA lineage titles. Like, perfect example, Ricky Starks. He was NWA television title, and his debut came out from that because of he wanted to get at the time it was Cody Rhodes' TNT title. So that alone to me is like that dude's a threat already. He's coming from NWA. He has already like a title lineage. He's like he's gonna be legit. And then look at him now. He's actually like feuding with with John Moxley and Brian Danielson.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I mean, that's the perfect place to tie in my Moxley versus Big Bill stuff because Big Bill, Big Bill is kind of teaming with Ricky Starks currently. So him, Moxley, he's in the angle with Moxley and Danielson at the moment. Kind of half of the
mhm.
Black Blackpool Combat Club. Big Bill and Moxley did a pretty nice match, and then they both had a match after that. Moxley and Danielson versus Bill and Starks. Both awesome matches.
Did it wasn't it Cassignoli and Danielson?
Was it Castagnoli and Danielson? I guess it might.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
actually, it might have been Castagnoli and Danielson the next night, and Moxley just come in afterwards. And
Yeah, he because like Moxley wrestled Big Bill
yeah,
on I think it was on Dynamite actually. Yeah, it was on Dynamite if I'm not mistaken. And then after that, because of that, they actually had their match at Collision. And because there's a funny meme going on right now where Castagnoli gave Ricky Starks the like the giant swing,
hmm
and
oh,
Ricky Starks
dude.
he's hitting the pose while he's getting swung around, which looked hilarious.
I didn't necessarily see him do the pose, but whenever Castagnoli and Big Bill was in the ring, and then he was about to swing Bill, I want to see that. That's probably going to be saved for a pay per view of some sort.
Oh
So
man,
swing that big trucker around, man. Swing old Big Bill around, Castagnoli. Let's see it.
yeah, he was like the match that they had between Big Bill and Moxley. Dude, they got physical. Moxley, of course, bled, of course, like he does every match. Um, there was a lot of like moments where Big Bill could have taken the title,
Yeah,
and if to me, it kind of felt like, which I might be wrong, which I could be wrong. Did Ricky Starks get involved at all, like against Moxley, like in that match? Like, did he cheat?
man, I don't recall. I remembered seeing it was a good match, and they and Big Bill was strong, but I think Moxley took it on like something.
Yeah,
That's the problem. It's been so long since Dynamite that I don't recall what exactly happened in the match without like watching a highlight video real quick while we're and I don't have one pulled up yet. but
yeah.
but yeah, so I don't recall if Starks got involved. I don't think he did, but he might have. Very possible.
Yeah, I kind of feel like right now Starks and Big Bill are like the big heel group at the moment, like against the Blackpool Combat Club.
Well, at least it
Like
ain't
a
like
lot of the
the
times, like
elite, or
what's that?
I said, at least it's not like the elite anymore, or maybe even did Bullet Club go up against Combat Club yet? I think
Not
that's
yet, but that'd be very interesting.
yeah.
Like Blackpool Combat Club has been a force to be reckoned with, but I feel Bullet Club Gold has actually been picking up steam because they got big wins over the Golden Elite. I mean, over Golden Elite and a lot of like key matches, FTR and the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
It's they've been putting in the work.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't, like, eventually they're gonna have to cross paths. And I do feel like whenever they do cross paths, it's gonna be it's gonna be a big deal.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, awesome wrestling coming. We're kind of in the middle of like angles and stories. Nothing's like. I mean, it's interesting to see what's gonna come up, but like nothing in the middle in this angle here with Starks and Bill and Moxley and Danielson and the club, Combat Club. Nothing's exactly like catching my attention so much that's got me on the edge of my seat I mean, besides, like I said, I'd like to see that
Yeah,
big swing. but,
yeah,
but
yeah. So
they're
when that
just in
swing
the middle
happened,
of
I
it right
laughed
now.
because yeah, he like it's funny because he's like, when you get into the swing, you're flaming a little bit trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
How you're just trying to just get out of it. what's funny is that whenever he's going for it, he's like, no, 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 pose, no, no. It was funny, dude. It was funny. So, but yeah, so it was a good match. I did like how it happened. Ricky Starks has been, man, they like he was. No lie, I think like I don't want to bring this up, but him having that little feud with Punk for that Owen Hart, tournament,
Hmm.
I felt like it helped him a lot.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Punk gave him a rub, so yeah. It definitely helped set him up as a more credible heel, I suppose. Um,
Yeah,
but speaking of like heels, um, you want to move on to the next topic?
sure.
I think the what do you got on the list? I think is it the Nia Jax topic?
Yeah, Nia Jax returning to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Who saw this coming? I didn't.
No, my whole. No, I didn't see it coming. No, so
Adrenaline in my soul. Something,
Saying
something,
Cody
Cody Rhodes.
Rhodes. Yeah, man. No, so that like, so what Oscar's referring to is there's like a meme floating around. I posted in our chat where like somebody spliced together the BTE bit where Dark Order's all like something
Singing the
something
song.
Cody Rhodes or whatever singing his theme song, and then but somebody put in when Nia fell on the ring and hurt her butt. She's like my hole. So somebody spliced that into the theme song of Cody Rhodes. So it's like adrenaline in my hole, something something Cody Rhodes. It's funny. You'll have to watch it. Maybe I'll drop if I can find it. I might drop it in the description on YouTube or something.
Oh, it's funny.
But yeah. So anyway, to set this up, Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley for the whatever version of the women's title that Ripley holds. Sorry, I still don't know exactly. Is it
We're never gonna know.
women's heavyweight versus women's world or something, or women's championship versus women's world championship? I think she's got the world championship versus
I think it's on Ross with the World one.
versus Io Sky with just the women's championship, or maybe I got that
Yeah.
backwards. I don't know. But regardless, Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez, it's looking like a good match. Out of the crowd, here comes Nia Jax, and she does she help Raquel first, or does she help? I want to say she helped Rhea first, right?
I'll Rhea first, cause like we know Nia Jackson's a heel. We know
Right.
that for a fact.
Right.
So typically, there's times where a heel will help out another heel in certain situations, right? And so you're like, okay, like they have some sort of like common enemy or like I don't want to say alliance, but they're on the same page. That you think, oh, this is gonna be crazy. But before we say anything, can we talk about the match?
Yeah.
Like, there's a crazy spot that Raquel did with Rhea that I wanted to talk about to show that the amount of strength that this woman has. Um, Rhea Ripley she kicks Raquel Rodriguez out of the ring.
Mhm.
She's on the bottom of the floor. Rhea Ripley stands on the ring apron, and then she does like a front flip off of the apron. When she does that, Raquel catches her while she's upside down in a powerbomb position. Catches Rhea Ripley in midair, and then literally walks over and swung her head at the announce table.
Yeah.
I was like, that girl is impressive. And then to the top hat off too, does the Kevin almost? I thought she would do the Kevin Owens like powerbomb of the apron. She does a Tejana bomb on the ring apron to Rhea Ripley's back.
Yeah.
It's like that's insane. And then from that moment, you're like, before you have a chance to like admire what she just did, Nia Jax comes out of nowhere, pulls her off the apron, and gives her Samoa drop to the floor.
Yeah.
And to note, the ref didn't see it.
Yeah, yeah. Where did this random Nia Jax come from? She's on the ringside all of a sudden. Oh, Raquel's
Yeah,
on the floor. How'd that happen? No.
yeah. What
But
happened? She tripped or something? I don't know. And then, of course, Rhea Ripley hits her with a riptide, pins her and wins. Nia Jax is looking over at Rhea Ripley, and you're like, okay, something's about to happen. I don't know what's gonna happen, and you think, okay, they're just showing that, oh, she's back, and nothing else is gonna happen. No, no, she beats the crap out of Rhea Ripley.
yeah,
She
yeah.
beats her up as well. She basically squishes her. So
Yeah,
after all that
she
was
did the Yokozuna drop onto her. I don't know what podcast it was. It might have been Keeping It 100 with Conan and Disco Inferno or something. But somebody mentioned about how like she can't be doing Samoan drops just like that onto like other female titties because some of them girls have implants and wrestle with implants, and her doing like the Samoan drop, he's like, man, that's gotta look painful, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it's got to be a little painful for a woman. Like, I wouldn't know, but especially if you have implants, could pop an implant with like however much she weighs, 250, 300 pounds, dropping onto you.
300, like above 300. Like what I know for sure is that a lot of the women typically try to avoid getting implants now because Nikki Bella used to have them, but then she had to get rid of them because they would rupture a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte Flair has actually had emergency surgeries because of it because they've been ruptured.
Right.
So I think WWE might have a policy on that as far as like having those. I know Raquel doesn't have them because she's more of an athlete. She was
Yep.
an athlete before she became a wrestler. And I think Rhea Ripley is the same way as well. So I think they're gonna be okay. But that doesn't say that they can still get hurt in the breast area because it's basically it's like it's muscle there. It's like the boobs can still rupture.
All right. Talk about boobs on the podcast. Check. No.
It took it took 5 episodes. We finally talked
We
about
got there. Yeah. No. But
let's all the fireworks and celebrate celebratory sounds to that.
but yeah, I mean, final thoughts on the return of Nia Jax. Good. I mean, it was a good return. Good return.
It
Yeah.
was. The thing is, it happened at a weird time because you know what else was happening too.
What was that?
There's also talks of Kyrie Sane returning,
Right.
and
Okay.
if you don't know, Nia Jax actually injured Kyrie Sane to the point to where she quit WWE
Mm-hmm.
because of Nia Jax.
Oh,
Like,
dang.
yeah, so she's been like Nia Jax has been known to be working a little bit too stiff with other women,
Right.
like he said.
Becky
Like
Lynch's big bloody nose incident was because of Nia Jax hit her too hard.
yeah,
But she
and
owned it though. But yeah, regardless.
oh, dude, you know what? I'll say this: if that didn't happen, we would have seen Ronda versus Becky at Survivor Series
Uh huh.
that year because that was a match that was supposed to happen. But because of that happening and being denied of that, Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey never had a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
So because of Nia Jax. So and Kairi Sane was actually like considering going back to WWE. But now that Nia Jax is back, I don't think Kairi Sane's gonna come back at all.
Oh, she's there? No, I'm good. No.
Fuck that! I'm gonna go back.
Right. Right.
So it's one of those situations where she could still go back, but now that she's there, that might actually affect like her decisions now. How do you feel about how do you feel about that? Like, do you think Kairi Sane can return to WWE still, knowing that Nia Jax is back?
I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe it'd be like a situation to where she just doesn't work with Nia Jax. Like kind of like the Punk Young Bucks situation in AEW. we don't want to work with each other, so keep them on different brands, keep them on different shows, whatever the case may be. I mean, she might go back and still do that, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I don't know. It'd be nice to see her back, but at the same time, she was rocking the independent scene pretty well, and she got a match out of she like she lost her NJPW Women's Championship to old Mercedes Moné. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a cool thing to see outside of WWE. You know,
Cool.
Kyrie Sane, right?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Carrie.
lost.
Yes. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure she lost her NJPW belt
Yes. Yeah. That's correct.
to
I was thinking.
Mercedes.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. Yeah. That is correct.
Hmm.
So, okay. So going into that, the last thing that I got.
Yeah. Next topic.
Yeah. Oh. Final thought. Hope she doesn't kill anybody. Hopefully everyone has a fun time with her. I'm good on that. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, just about the same. I echo that. Um, look forward to seeing how they use her, and hopefully she don't hurt anybody in the process. And yeah, good luck.
Yep. All right. Last thing that I got for me on my list, I believe Charlie might have maybe one or two more that he might want to talk about. But for me, is the WWE UFC merger already complete? This happened this past Friday. Was More details have come out. WWE never actually was sold to Endeavor. So basically, what happened was they it was merged with Endeavor instead of being sold with it. So basically, now it's UFC and WWE in one big comeback company now, to where they can actually um, do a lot of events and a lot of crossovers that we never really thought possible. One of the things is that when I was watching Wrestle Talk today, they were talking about that currently the Fox deal is about to expire later this year, which was a big deal back then. Few years back, it was like a $1 billion deal.
Yeah,
But now the deal's about to expire. But because not being merged with the UFC, the owners of Endeavor want to make this thing to where they want to keep UFC and WWE as close together as possible as far as expiration dates. Currently, UFC has a UFC deal with Disney at the moment, and that doesn't expire until 2024. So right now, Endeavor is willing to pay the extension of the contract negotiation with the Fox until it'll expire on the same time with the UFC. Why is this important? Because if they manage to line it up just right and actually get both contracts to expire at the same time, they can now offer any broadcast company a bundle with UFC and WWE to get a big boatload of money. And it could be on Peacock. It
man,
could
y'all better
be
keep it on Peacock and let me have it for free.
yeah, the premium live events.
Yeah, chill out, Oscar. It don't need to go anywhere. Chill out.
So like they're trying to like make big money moves, but because of that, there's also a thing going around too is that if they do manage to time it up just right, currently right now they can just put whatever event they want against AEW whenever they do a show. So basically, it's like counter programming
Right.
to the highest it's ever going to be. Because remember, back then WWE had to also compete with UFC, but they hardly ever do that because they were both kind of like knew they were going to be within the same company, so they try to avoid one another. But when it came to AEW, WWE would actually throw in NXT on Peacock or do a Saturday event. Like for example, during the All In weekend, remember that there was like All In and All Out. There was a lot of events going on around that weekend. There was a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
So
Um, I mean, WWE had Payback the night before All In. I think, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Or was it the night
yeah.
after? Maybe it
So
was the
the
night after.
night after, yeah.
Yeah. Um, we do have somebody in the chat. Shout outs to Avery. She says, "When The Rock coming back? When?" We did talk about The Rock earlier in the podcast. We talked about all our dream matches that with the current superstars and whatnot. However, tying it into this topic, so TKO Endeavor, whatever you want to call it, Endeavor made the new brand TKO that merges both UFC and WWE as sister and brother brands, I guess. I don't know. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, that's what it's gonna be.
are
But
we
yeah,
gonna see the end of like WWE as a name brand and it just be called TKO Wrestling now? Or I mean,
no,
but they're gonna, or are they gonna continue to have separate events? But also, who's gonna be the face of this new merger? Like, I'm not. I can't say that I'm totally
it's
behind
risky,
this. You
man.
know, like I mean, it would you well, yeah. Currently, it's Vince McMahon, right? But I mean, like, it would make more sense if you gave it to like Brock Lesnar or something, like an actual star that's wrestled, or Ronda Rousey, even that's both wrestled in WWE and fought in UFC, right? I mean, I'd say giving it to talking about Avery's question, maybe The Rock, right? Well, she did say her question was, when's he coming back for a match? Uh, we're not sure. Maybe the next pay per view. The
He
re
literally just came back this past Friday.
Yeah, he just come back for promos and whatnot. Talking about to summarize that what we already talked about. We think he might be fighting Austin Theory, maybe at the next pay per view, right? Basically.
Yeah,
So,
possibly like he might do a guest spot like he did last time.
but
Like
but
he'll be the host, which is to me I think is a dumb idea, but people want to see The Rock, I guess.
but tying it into
Oh,
this current topic, do you think The Rock would be a good face for TKO? I
I
mean,
think so because he's dipped his toe in both WWE and UFC. He has sponsorship deals with UFC already. I think he has like a shoe line there if I'm not mistaken. Um, and he's been in a lot of documentaries with the UFC within the last few months. So he's very familiar with the product, and a lot of people are aware of him.
mhm.
The one thing that I will say that is this, like with the merger happening, like there's been talks of like a draft within UFC and WWE, but like I don't know in what capacity. It's gonna be weird. It's like you're gonna it's like for example, which is a possibility if they do. It's like considered like a mega draft. Imagine this. Imagine Dominic Mysterio going to the UFC. That could happen. So,
They kind of
but
want it to, right?
yeah, they
Like,
kind of want to make it hit.
all right,
That's
Prison
one.
Dom, what do you got?
Yeah, that's one fight I would actually want to see because I want him to get hit. But the fact that stuff like that can happen, but also pre-existing deals that already exist that work there. Like for example, again, I don't mean to talk about him, but it just happen. It just happens to happen. CM Punk is actually still employed with the UFC. He's a commentator for one of their other fighting promotions that they have.
Yeah, he's
And
made
currently,
a. Sorry.
yeah, so he's currently working there. So with this merger, technically means that he's working with WWE again.
Right.
We could you could possibly get him back in there, which to me is like I don't want to talk about him anymore. But this this is a crazy thing because like think about it. Imagine if he was still with AEW and
Hmm.
then this happened. He would have gotten fired flat out from from UFC or let go like for like part of the massive layoffs. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because he's wrestling for like an opposition promotion and he can't be there. He'll be everywhere. This time around, he's not with AEW, which I think was going to happen is they're going to keep him as far away from WWE as possible. But eventually, I don't know, man. I think something's going to happen to where paths are going to cross to where he's going to be on there again. Something tells me. I don't know what it
Well, a
is.
lot of people want to see CM Punk back in WWE. I'll say that. I will also say that he's made a post AEW appearance for a some sort of UFC style something
Yeah.
event, I guess. I actually posted a picture. He's making a goofy face of the recent picture that of him on commentary at said event. So, but yeah, I'm not sure what the event was or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to see him go back to WWE. I suppose I'd really just rather him just go back to AEW and be a good boy. But you know, whatever. It is what it is. I mean, in WWE, yeah, it'd be cool to see him. Either way, and like you said, since TKO is a thing, it might happen.
Okay, so some interesting things that have actually also came to light as well with the merger deal.
Mhm.
So let's just say that um, because we know that they're because of the merger happening. If let's say if Endeavor tries to sell group holdings of their stock, like whether it be WWE or MMA or UFC, guess what happens?
What happened?
They won't be able to if let's say if they sell their stock in this time period, actually ever whenever they're trying to when they're doing this merger, they will not be able to do business for MMA or pro wrestling for 5 years, which means if they break their contract by selling their stock, Endeavor will drop WWE and UFC on their own, but they will not be able to do shows for 5 years.
So no more WWE, no more UFC for 5 years.
For 5 years. Imagine if, like, dude, can you imagine if that actually happened?
Oh, AEW would thrive.
It will, but imagine just the fact that UFC and WWE being gone at the same time. Like, the wrestling landscape will be shifted, and a lot of wrestlers would quit. Downright quit because they don't want. They gotta work. They can't just be stuck there doing nothing. So, like in a scenario, what do you? Well, of course, AEW would thrive because of that. But my question to you is, how would you feel if you woke up one morning and you see that WWE and UFC are gone for 5 years?
I mean, I never really watched a whole lot of UFC anyway, so that UFC side of things probably wouldn't bother me as much as
I
WWE
watch it.
side. Right.
It bothers me.
It probably wouldn't bother me as much, but as far as like WWE goes, to have it gone, I
Let me let,
mean,
let, let, let me rephrase that. Charlie Boy,
yeah,
no more premium live events.
I mean that sucks, but it is what it is, you know.
Right.
I feel like my contract with Peacock or with my internet provider that gives me free Peacock is coming up to an end, and I might not have Peacock in the future anyway. So,
There's neither here or there.
but regardless, I don't know, man. Yeah, I like um,
We just reached
WWE.
an hour.
Yeah, WWE's product is kind of getting a little stale, honestly. It would kind of be cool to go to see them like reboot in some sort of way. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be cool, but other than that, yeah, I mean, it would suck to see him go away. But
Yeah, it's a crazy ass time now because like Vince is no longer the end all be all guy to be like he gets final say anymore.
yep.
So wrestling's changing already again,
Mhm.
and it's only a matter of time to where we're gonna see that if this merger's gonna work out or if it's gonna be a huge, huge mess. Like we can see Conor McGregor on Raw.
That would be dope.
We can see like other wrestlers, other fighters show up to WWE. We can see wrestlers in UFC just because they want to like for example, uh, Chad Stevenson, like one of the wrestling prospects that they got, like
Gable
which the
Stevenson.
experiment not working out very well for him. He's an Olympic hopeful. He could actually go to UFC now under the Endeavor banner. It gives him something to do, like so. There's a lot of potential to what they can bring to the table. It's just a matter of if everyone's willing to play ball, and then if it gets executed well.
No. So, any final thoughts on this topic before we move on to the last two that I have that I want to talk about?
To me, this deal's changing my two favorite things that I love because I was a WWE guy in the beginning and also a big UFC fan. I would hate to see both of them die at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, that would
So
suck.
I wish them the best.
Yeah, yeah. Good luck. Interested to see what this TKO branding is going to be about. If it's going to be like a special division of some sort within each promotion, kind of similar to like a 205 Live or something like that, right?
There's those talks of like a title shakeup too. Like so that's because of the merger, but there's not a lot of details out for it yet. But so stay tuned. We'll like when we get more information, like we will talk about it more.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Once we get information, we'll definitely touch on it.
Oh, you know what? I'm
What's
glad
up?
you reminded about the titles. You know why?
By that,
Because of the merger and a lot of the ideas that a lot of the companies are getting. Guess what they want to try and bring into WWE now?
who's that?
The trios titles.
Oh, they're gonna have a trios titles now.
Yeah, they've never been done before in WWE, so I kind of feel like it'll be a good addition to kind of like do that. But what I don't like is they just keep it to one brand. They need to actually have tag titles to kind of like venture out to other brands, even on the NXT. You know what I mean?
I
So
mean,
I feel that like there's potential there. It's just they gotta
they don't
do it
do
right.
they don't necessarily do a great job with the tag division in general. Honestly, like
Yeah.
who's even the tag title holders right now? The Usos? No, it's not the Usos. It was Sami Zayn and Kevin. Usos lost it to Sami Zayn and Kevin. Sami Zayn and Kevin lost it to Judgment Day.
Am I? Yeah, there you go. You remember. You remember.
Yeah. So Judgment Day.
Remember. You remember, Kevin Owens threw the chair at Sami Zayn's crotch? You remember.
Yeah. No, but
Hey,
like,
you remember that?
so I mean, like, but yeah, like, this is basically a bunch of single stars passing around a tag belt. Where's the tag titles? Where's the tag stars? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
regardless. So I mean, if they add a trios title to the mix, oh man, that's gonna be rough. But sure, why
And
not?
at least we know the New Day will be, you know.
Bump.
Yeah.
Big E comes back. Yeah, okay.
Oh, man, I hope he does come back.
Give New Day a new member. That'd be dope.
Other day.
The 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 new other day over there.
Other yesterday.
Speaking of New Day, I saw something with Xavier Woods taking like a crazy bump recently. It might have been from like from the old one from before he got injured, but he hadn't come back yet, huh? No, I don't think
Xavier
so.
Woods is back.
Is he?
I think he's back, yeah.
Well, if
He's back with Kofi.
yeah, so I mean, maybe that was maybe I just missed that, like maybe that should have been a topic, but or however long.
We'll
he's
talk
been
next
back.
week.
But yeah, we'll find out. We'll see what's going on with the New Day. But
Oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, because Xavier Woods was talking trash to Drew McIntyre.
yeah, that's who I saw. Drew McIntyre like laid him out or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, so I guess maybe that's we'll have to follow up on that. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of wrestling returns recently. That would be a good time to segue into the next topic, but I wouldn't. I don't want to actually use this one as the next topic. I want to move over to Becky Lynch with the NXT Championship. She's the new
Mhm.
women's NXT Championship. But the other topic I want to talk about was Impact 1000 Team 3D return, because so that would be a good segue into that. However, we're not there yet, right? Or
I'll let you
I
pick,
want
bro.
to
I'll let you pick the
I want to
spot.
save the 3D for the final. Um,
Yeah.
for the final thing to talk about. And I also did want to just touch on Fuego del Sol is the new 3XW champion. I mean, it's an indie promotion. I want to say it's out of like Iowa or Montana or something like that. And I don't have a lot of details on it. You know, it's just one of those random things. But cool thing, cool deal that Fuego del Sol is still rocking the indies. I've watched bits and pieces of his vlog, because he's got a vlog now, kind of following some of his wrestling travels, and I think he's been into like 25 of the 50 states or something like that, or maybe even 30 or so. And he's trying to hit every state with a show, which is a pretty good goal to have for an indie wrestler. Pretty cool, right?
It's a good opportunity to show off other promotions and to show off what their wrestlers have to offer.
How cool would it be
It's
to
very
see, I was gonna say
good.
how cool would it be to see Fuego del Sol show up in WWE and then Cody Rhodes come out as Fuego too? How cool would that be though?
just just like a dark match for no reason whatsoever.
Maybe in NXT or something, because you know they put Fuego through NXT if he just
Oh man,
showed.
that'd be hilarious.
And then
If
here
they managed
comes
to do
Fuego
that,
too. Oh my gosh, I'd pop off. I'd watch that. I'd watch the full match.
Cody Rhodes has said in the past he loves that gimmick because to him if he didn't feel as stressful
Yeah.
because like he goes for whatever reason he goes when I'm Cody Rhodes people boo me when I'm Fuego too they love me
Yeah. Yeah.
and he looks hilarious too. He's wearing like a singlet and he's doing like this weird like jogging in place pose where he's just where Fuego is running around him and he's just jogging in place. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
I love it though. It was so good. I hope that ends up happening again in some sort of capacity. I mean, because Fuego, I like his high flying style, and yeah, he's got a nice tornado DDT. What can I say? You know,
Dude, I will say this: they built up that move like if it's the most devastating move ever.
they did a good job of putting him over with it and everything. But I mean,
Yeah,
all that momentum he had, and I know he is like a skinnier dude and stuff, but it just kind of come crashing down when like leveled off after he got his contract, which sucks. And now
yeah,
that he's served his contract and it's over, he's back on the Indies, and he's apparently the new 3XW championship or the new 3XW champion, the holder. So good stuff to him. You know, he's got a title now. He said on his vlog it's been maybe 3 to 5 years since he's had a title. So I mean that's pretty cool that he's got one again. And
yeah.
I guess final thoughts on this little mini topic is I wish him the best, and I kind of hope to see him in NXT in the future.
I do want to see him in like. It would be cool to see him like in NWA just pop up
Or
with that
NWA.
title.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, so it's like with like NWA has been really good about like allowing wrestlers to do that.
I was gonna say, do they allow indie titles in NWA? I don't think I recall seeing a lot of indie titles in there, but I mean,
Sometimes they do.
that'd be cool to see.
Like sometimes they do, but they have to have like an existing relationship with the wrestler, and like they have to work out something to where like we'll acknowledge this title that it's part of this. People always acknowledge they will acknowledge NWA because of its lineage, like that. You know, that's it's literally the oldest wrestling promotion here in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's nothing new. But what's kind of like new is the fact that other, like you said, other titles shown up on there. Like that to me it would be insane to see an AEW title show up at NWA or seeing the OVW title show up on Impact. You know, those are the kind of things that could actually happen.
Yeah.
But everyone has to be in, you know, in good standings in order to do that. Oh, speaking of which, with Becky,
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
um, I was going over something with Becky Lynch during that match.
Okay.
Um, uh, Stratton, I have to say, I've never really seen her wrestle, but there is something that I like that she did.
Okay.
She did the Kenny move, the Kenny Omega spot. You know, like you can't escape. But she did the roll, jumps on the bottom rope, jumps on the middle rope, jumps on the third rope,
Best moonsault ever.
moonsault, best moonsault ever. Does a complete moonsault, lands on her feet, and then rolls backwards, rolls back up, and then Becky Lynch goes in with the manhandle slam. I'm like, this woman can wrestle, and I just like I'm concerned with the fact that women's wrestling is going to have a huge comeback again, and it's not a bad thing. What I'm saying is I'm afraid of what's going to happen because of the fact that these women that I've never heard of before, they're going to steal the spotlight again. That's what Becky and Charlotte and Sasha Banks did back in whenever they were like introduced to like Raw whenever they were first brought in from NXT. They actually shook up the roster pretty good. I'm curious on what they're gonna do with the newer NXT women and how well they're gonna portray them later down the line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty guilty of not watching a whole lot of NXT stuff, but I mean, I'm somewhat interested in the Braun Breaker stuff. Uh, Hopefully, they move him up to being an actual Steiner. That'd be great. Uh,
Yeah.
I kind of want to see old Dom Mysterio, since he is an NXT North American champion. Kind of want to see him earn his mask and from Rey Mysterio. But like we mentioned, it's not the real Rey Mysterio. The real Rey Mysterio has made a return, right, in Mexico.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, to carry the Mysterio name still, Dom Mysterio, it'd be nice to see him masked up and acting like a cool luchador versus the little shithead he is now. I don't know.
I
I
will say,
don't. Everybody
I
doesn't
will say
like him.
this.
He's got major heat, and every time he puts a microphone up to his mouth, you can't even hear him talk at all.
I'll say this. During his WrestleMania match with Ray, whenever he came out to his team, he looked cool coming out with his own Rey Mysterio mask.
Yeah,
I gotta say, he looked cool. I was like, it could work with him, but I
it
think the way it's
can.
gonna
Yeah,
happen is like it can, and it still can. I feel that the way that it can work is the fact that Ray would have. I'm sorry, Ray. Dominic would have to take that mask away from Ray in order to get that mask.
yeah, but then
And I
you.
think and I think once that happens, then that's when we're gonna see like the whole transition of Dominic drop that name to become like the actual new Rey Mysterio. He might be an actual Rey Mysterio Junior at this point if he does do that.
Wouldn't it be Rey Mysterio the third, or would it just go back to Junior? Or I mean, because technically the Rey Mysterio we know and love is Junior, right? Because
Yeah, he is.
or the
Yeah,
WWE Hall
yeah,
of Famer one is, even though the
yeah.
WWE dropped the name Junior, he was still known as Junior in WCW.
But okay, so I think the consensus was back then that he could only use the Rey Mysterio name as unless he dropped the Junior.
Okay.
But now that if they do decide to do that thing with Dominic, I think he actually will become either a junior or the third. Because I think those people know that he's that he is that Ray is a junior. I think he'll be considered the third. Yeah.
I
So
think
yeah, I gotta see what you think.
I think as long as he's on WWE TV, he's going to be Dominic Mysterio. Period. Though, I mean, I think they've invested too much into him to go for like a name change. Kind of like, for instance, like Chad Gable. They changed his name to Shorty G, and then nobody liked it. And he went
Oh,
back to
I
Chad
hated that
Gable,
name.
and they're like, yeah, like that kind of thing, right? But
Like, why would they do that?
But so yeah, I think
Stupid Vince.
they keep it as Dom. I don't want to see like I don't want to see the angle where he takes his dad's mask in order to retire him, as far as like in an evil type way, because then that would just like propel him as like a. I mean, he's already a heel, but he's like kind of a like iffy heel, and I don't know. I think that's just a little bit too evil, honestly. I'd rather see him become a face and then properly earn the mask of some in some sort of fashion. But like, I mean, taking the mask, I guess, and I'm Rey Mysterio Jr. now or some bullshit, whatever. Like, I guess that wouldn't be a terrible angle. I see where you're coming from, but at the same time, I don't want to see it go down that way. But
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's a common Mexican tradition that that's what happens.
to to to
If
beat
that
up your dad, beat up
yeah,
beat up your dad and take
it
the.
is.
I thought it was like I thought it was like I passed the torch to you type thing. Not a I'm gonna kill you and put you in the ground, old man. And now it's mine.
No, but like it's literally no lie. It's portrayed like that. Like no lie, because the way that they do it, like in like Lucha Libre, is when they do a mask versus mask match. You lose the mask, you're basically retired because that's your alter ego.
Right.
So like that's the only way that's gonna happen. But I kind of feel like WWE would do it in a way to where it will be tasteful.
Okay.
Because like I do get it. Like I do understand. Like if you say like, oh, it's gonna be like this old evil thing. Like if Dom just attacks Ray with the chair and then beats him and then takes the mask away. Yeah, that's basically like shitting on his
Yeah,
legacy.
I don't like that.
But
I want to see Ray willingly give his mask up, even if it is a heel versus face thing where Dom versus Ray, and then Dom wins and then takes the mask. I want to see Ray give it up, not Dom rip it off. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's basically what I want to say.
yeah, which they can. Like I've seen a lot of good ones where they actually like where the man was like, because usually like if you beat them, like you got to remove the mask from your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the times, the person that lost tells them like, "Hang on, like I'll do it,"
Yeah.
and he willingly gives them the mask, and then they give each other a hug, and then he leaves.
No.
But it's a common Mexican trope that happens there. Um, but yeah, like there's still possibilities of them crossing paths. They're both, like you said, Dominic is their North American champion. Ray is currently the United States champion. They could do a match like in that style at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
You know that can still become a thing. Um, yeah, it's like NXT's been picking it up, and Becky Lynch, she's even though she's on the main roster, she's showing that she's giving the rub off of the newer and like the newer NXT talent because they're ready to go.
Yeah. I mean,
They're-
so moving back to the Becky Lynch topic, she is the new NXT champion. Uh, I mean, what like to me it's kind of like a why situation, like she doesn't need it. Is she going to take the NXT belt to the main roster? Of course she is, right? And she's going to show it off there. But
Dom does that too, yeah.
but like, why are they taking it away from NXT? Like, I mean, I guess she's gonna be working both shows now, going back to NXT and fighting people there. Uh,
I can actually tell you why because it's for the ratings.
yeah, I guess they
The
need
ratings,
ratings. Yeah.
yeah. So the ratings right now for Becky being there went up 1 million views.
Okay.
So that's basically what they're doing, which is a smart move because you do want to see newer, like more established wrestlers go up against the newer ones because those are, in a sense, dream matches as well. Because we might not even see those matches happen until way later, whenever those wrestlers from NXT go to WWE, go to the main rosters or to the UFC. That's just
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I guess final thoughts on this. I mean, Becky Lynch, new NXT champion.
Stratton. Keep your head up high. You're gonna get your title back.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to see Becky hold a championship for sure. I just wanted to know why. But yeah, you made a good point. The ratings. So yeah, cool stuff. Good stuff to Becky. Hold your head up high, Tiffany Stratton. Looking forward to seeing who's going to dethrone her. Honestly, or who she's going to go up against on this NXT Championship run. But regardless, final topic of the night that I have. So I guess that'll be the last topic, unless we have any bonus topics come up, kind of like the Ray and Dom topic we just got off on. But
Yeah.
regardless, so Team 3D, aka the Dudley Boys, make a return as a team to wrestling at Impact 1000. Um, cool, yeah, awesome. I mean, always up for some
Yeah.
Dudley Boys stuff. Bubba Ray, aka Bully Ray, he or Brother Ray, I guess, since he's on Team 3D now, um, or again. But he hasn't gone anywhere. He's been active in wrestling, in Impact and NWA mostly. Uh,
Rick
but
Vaughn.
but Devon hasn't. So I think it's been 7 years, is what they said.
Yeah, since they last tagged, Devon actually had a health scare not too long ago
Did he?
where he had to leave WWE.
Yeah, because he was working as like in a manager backstage type role, not manager, but like
Yeah,
backstage type role.
yeah, he was a producer.
Yeah.
Um, health scare. Yeah, he was a producer for a lot of matches for WWE for a good while. I think it was for SmackDown that he was doing that for. He basically had he had a stroke, not like I
Oh
want to
man.
say 2 years ago. He had a stroke 2 years ago, and then he came back to health as of recently. Which I'm not gonna lie, I feel like once you get a stroke, I think that's whenever you should call it quits because like going through a stroke, you can't really function the same way anymore. But I guess the way that Devon was built, he managed to make a full recovery, which is rare. Like it's rare to see that. But he took time off from being a producer to get his health back up, and thankfully it came back up to the point to where he was able to wrestle again. Because at the time, when his health was deteriorating back then when he was a producer, he couldn't wrestle at all anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that sucks. My dad actually before he sorry. Yeah, before he passed away, he ended up having a stroke, which sucks. So I mean, but I'm glad Devon actually made it. Bounced back, and yeah, I mean he's in the ring again. Whether it be a one-off appearance or it be like a thing where they go on a short run or something. Either way, I mean, glad to see him and Bubba Ray together again. I will say he had two sons, right, that were tag team that showed up in AEW at one point. Uh,
yes, not gonna lie, I think they're where
I
are they?
I looked it up. Terrell Hughes and Terrence Hughes. It look I TNT Wrestling. Uh, is what this is kind of Terrell Hughes in professional wrestling. TNT is a tag team. Or maybe it's TNT is their name uh, of the tag team. The Sons of Impact and WWE Hall of Famer Devon Dudley. Uh, so I guess their name. I guess they're calling themselves TNT. I'm not sure exactly where they're at now. Maybe going through some sort of developmental or something. But
Possibly. I think no lie, I think they've gone through the WWE system a little bit
yeah,
because they're at the performance center with because of their dad. And they had, if I remember correctly, they had matches at AEW Dark a while back. But it
yeah.
was back when they were still trying to like get their bearings in, get their stuff settled, get their stuff figured out. So I remember that was a thing then too.
Uh, uh,
But enough about that. I do want to talk about. the match itself. Did you watch the match?
Yeah.
Tell me about it, man, because I didn't see it.
So the match had Bubba and Devon tagging against somebody. I'm gonna have to find out who. But I mean, whoever, like it wasn't. Let me
I've never
find out.
seen somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who they were going up against. Who these guys are. I'm gonna pull it up because I want to know. Um, I'm looking at the guys right now. I don't know who they are. like, it's some dude in a purple vest. Um, maybe Middle Eastern descent. Desi Hit Squad. That's their name. True Raj Singh and the Rohit Raju is their Twitter handles apparently. So they returned against the Desi Hit Squad. In the match, I recall Bubba doing. It seemed like he did more work than Devon. Devon got tagged in. Did a little. I think he wanted. I think I want to say he did some arm rake stuff, like or
Yeah.
arm wrench stuff. They did some tag team moves, of course, like a. They did the 3D, of course, but that was more like the finish. But they also did like a tag team neck breaker. They also gave him the Bubba also, of course, give him the what's that, and Devon,
Yeah.
hit the diving headbutt up the middle rope. We had the Devon get the table spot, but they didn't use the table to finish the match. They got Devon to get the table. He put the table up in the ring, and then they just hit him. They hit him with a 3D, but just a regular 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Like bounced him off the rope. Boom, and then 1, 2, 3, hit him on the mat. Devon for the pin, got the 1, 2, 3, and then they set up the table while everybody was kind of like cheering, or well, the table's already set up. They moved it to the corner, and Devon helped the guy get up to where Bubba was standing on
Mm-hmm.
the turnbuckle, and then Bubba power bombed him through the table. So that was the aftermatch finish. Was that?
Right.
So, I mean, good match overall. I mean, solid for their age, and especially considering Bubba's or sorry, Devon's health scare and all that.
Yeah, it was one of those things like you kind of like you're happy to see them, but then you're concerned about their safety. Like that reminded me whenever Edge came back from the Royal Rumble after his neck injury.
Mm-hmm.
That I was happy to see him, but man, I was worried about his neck. But like seeing like right now I'm watching a little bit of the highlights of with like Devon being there.
Yeah.
He's giving thanks to God. He you could tell that he missed doing this. Um, I'm glad I'm glad he was able to have his like his return match. Could be his last match. I don't think they're gonna push any more for him to do more stuff because you know like those kind of things that happens to you, like they're very serious, and you don't want them to get make it worse. Um, I am happy to see that he's back. He Bubba still looks good for his age. Still controlling himself. Like he's still wrestling really good. Like it's just crazy to me that we've seen. I've seen them wrestle since like 2000, and now they're still going at it. It's crazy to think that, and to realize like, man, we're fucking old.
Yeah, we are. I'll give you that.
but but like I do have a question though, since you actually did watch this match. Were you was this like a surprise return, or was this something that was already advertised?
I'd say it's surprised. I mean, I didn't see any advertisement for it. The first I heard of it was seeing it on YouTube. It said Impact 1000 Team 3D returns after 7 years, and I was like, okay. And I clicked it and I watched it, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, good to see Devon back in the ring. Good to see both of them back in the ring. Really. So I mean, it was a decent match for being gone for 7 years. Like I kind of mentioned, it seemed that Bubba kind of carried it a bit, but I mean
Yeah.
that's expected. And yeah, I mean it was a good feel good moment for Impact 1000.
Yeah, so if you want to see the match, it is on YouTube. They put the full match on YouTube. This has happened. The 1,000th episode of Impact, which is crazy to think that, man. Like, they've been going at it for a while.
Yeah,
I remember whenever Impact was on Spike, and I remember like
it was like
Impact was on FS1. There's like a lot of Impact episodes that happened back in the day, and to think that since then they reached 1,000 episodes shows like they're how well that they're keeping the product alive. And
yeah, I never really
it's
watched it terribly back then, but yeah, it's been around since like 2001 or 2003 or so. So I mean it's good that they're steady, right? So yeah, I mean I guess final thoughts on this topic for me would be awesome return for Devon, awesome stuff that Impact's still around, and still kicking and still putting on decent to good shows. I mean, there's some questionable stuff, but like I mean,
like the killing.
yeah,
I'll
something.
say this. I'll give Impact credit where it's due. They when they kill you off when you leave, they make sure you ain't coming back.
Something.
Which is hilarious to me. I don't want to go off too far off topic,
Yeah.
but do you remember? Do you ever watch like when Matt Hardy was his broken gimmick there? When it first started.
Yeah, I saw the broken stuff a little bit in Impact. Yeah.
Did you watch the tag team like Apocalypto thing that he had?
I don't know. I probably did at the time, but I'm having trouble putting a finger on a
So
lot of
so
it.
so so, ba- so basically, this was a big like tag team match that happens at the Hardy compound,
Hmm.
which was like wrestlers from other promotions actually got to be in it. Like the Rock and Roll Express was in it. Freaking some people from Impact, of course, but like tag teams that you haven't seen in a while showed up again that were like famous back then. Could, just make like cameo appearances.
Yeah.
Um, Abyss and another guy was in it. They were a tag team, and they kept killing like this just tag teams in the match. And they made a joke about it because the other wrestling CEOs did he just kill him? And it was like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna get in this match anymore.
Yeah,
I
no,
was like, stop.
I don't recall a lot of it like that, but yeah, I mean, some of the stuff is pretty over the top for sure. But I mean,
Yeah,
glad they're still around, nevertheless.
yeah. If you get a chance to watch it, watch that one. Like you will thoroughly enjoy it.
I'll have to go back and watch it, like the original final deletion or whatever it might be.
Oh yeah, all of those are good.
Yeah, I mean, the Hardys have had final deletion in each promotion now. I mean, they had one in WWE, they had one in AEW, and they originated it in Impact.
Yeah.
So cool stuff. Cool stuff to that. But yeah, I mean, if there's nothing else, I guess we want to wrap up the podcast. Any final thoughts on just overall everything we talked about? I mean, I don't see any more questions in chat. We answered Avery's question. Yeah. Anything else you got, Oscar?
No, nothing else. Everything was good. I love the format that we're taking. We actually finished an hour and 30 minutes. That's like around that time.
Yeah. Well, an hour and 45, honestly, runtime from start to finish currently. if we end like in the next 45 seconds. But yeah, we did like we did like a 10-minute intro, kind of catching up.
Oh,
But I mean, still, I mean, we chopped it up. I'm gonna go ahead and end the topic timer, I suppose. 1:35, 1 hour and 35 minutes on the topic timer.
right.
And that's not exact either. Like I'm trying to, like, I see 7 minutes go by sometimes, and I just let it go, and before I say like final thoughts. But if it goes over 10, I kind of try to make sure to help out, move along the conversation a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we got some pretty good topics in. We got everything you wanted to talk about, everything I wanted to talk about. Unfortunately, hadn't got everything Cliff wants to talk about, but perhaps maybe next time he'll be back. I know he's been going through some stuff lately. Or maybe he'll just be around during the pay-per-views or whatever the case may be. But we, of course, invite him back here every week and hope he'll come back.
Wins Roman Reigns. Larry 391 says.
Oh, you see that? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess this would be the Q&A part of it, even though we were trying to do an outro a little bit. But
Yeah.
Wins Roman Reigns. I don't know, man. Like we've seen a comeback mentioned, right, or teased or something.
Yeah, eventually he's gonna be here in the next few weeks. Apparently, there's an event coming up. I think he's gonna be at one of the Saudi events. It's gonna happen soon.
Oh yeah, I think John Cena's supposed to wrestle there too, huh?
Yeah, so a lot of it's been mentioned, and they're gonna both be there. So we're gonna see them on TV soon. I don't know if they're gonna have a match against each other, which I doubt, because they already had that match already. I kind of want to see something a little different with Roman Reigns.
Yo, so, Rock versus Roman, like you could shorten that whole storyline of Rock and Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and all that. You could shorten it by doing Rock versus Roman in Saudi Arabia, and then you have Roman versus Cody at WrestleMania 40 next year, and you could still finish the story in 1 year and not extend it for another extra year and extend Roman's title reign another extra year just for that. Like, oh man,
they might do it. They might do it next. They might do it like where it'll be Roman and Cody at Saudi Arabia.
You think? You think Cody?
They could do that.
You think Cody's going to take home the belt in Saudi Arabia, or you think would it be another failure? Would it be another failure? Oh man!
The American Nightmare wins title in Saudi Arabia. That'd be hilarious.
I don't know, man. I don't know about them apples. But
well, we did see Goldberg beat the Fiend for the Universal title before, so it's not totally out of the question.
Yeah, I mean, Saudi's a big show. They paid a whole bunch of money, right? So I mean, like, you gotta transfer some titles on the show, I guess, or have some sort of big feel, go home, happy go home stuff.
Yeah, Larry also says triple threat. He thinks there's going to be a triple threat at WrestleMania between Cody, The Rock, and Roman.
Hey, that would be dope. That would be dope. I'd watch that. I want to see Rock versus Cody. We talked about. We did have The Rock's return. We mentioned that as a topic, and apparently it's a hot topic. As Avery came in here earlier asking about when we thought Rock was going to wrestle. We talked about Rock versus Austin Theory. We talked about all sorts of dream matches Rock could have with the current roster. Rock versus Austin Theory, Rock versus LA Knight, Rock versus Cody, Rock versus I don't know who. But we mentioned a decent amount. Maybe that was
Rock versus Owens.
Yeah, Owens. Yeah, Kevin Owens. Rock versus Jey Uso. Main event Jey Uso.
We were talking about it earlier. Like, there's a whole bunch of potential that we could see out of this. We could be looking at it a little bit too deep.
AJ Styles. Finn Balor.
To me, that's a good match.
Damian Priest.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, we mentioned Rey Mysterio as well. So
I wanted to see that one because that's an overdue match.
Yeah.
It could have been Edge, but he left.
Yeah. Ledge is AEW.
Ledge.
ledges, all elite. I forgot what dirt sheet I was watching or whatever it may be, but they were talking about calling him Corner instead of Edge in AEW. His name's gonna be Corner now. I think it was it might have been Cultaholic maybe.
Corner.
Yeah,
That's funny.
the corner. The corner is here. I mean, that could work, right? Because it could be like a double gimmick, like in Corner, kind of like an Undertaker type person, right? But you'd have to
No, like you're thinking coroner.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It could have like a double meaning though. It could be like Corner because of a shout out to his old gimmick, Corner Edge, right? Whatever, and then Coroner, kind of like the whole. Evil Undertaker undertones type shit too. I don't know.
I got it, dude. He's gonna team up with Christian Cage again.
Oh yeah.
So the corner is gonna be the coroner for the dead dads.
For all the dead dads that Christian Cage talks about. Damn. Yep, that's about right, man. That sounds about right.
It comes full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah, but yeah, like I don't know, man. Like with The Rock being back, I was not expecting it. Nobody else was thinking about it of this happening. There's so much potential that could happen.
Yeah.
But we gotta remember this guy is like in his 50s already. He ain't the same, you know. But we've seen Sting in his 60s still jumping on caskets and putting people through tables.
Putting people through tables.
Yeah, and he's jumping off from like stages and probably I don't know what it is AEW. They're like, you can do whatever you want. He goes, I always want to jump off the stage, and basically that's what they did.
Man, yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad I picked when I was young. I picked Sting to be one of my favorite wrestlers, I guess, and that's one of the reasons. You only care about Roman Reigns? Oh man, you must be from the new generation. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hate to say it, Larry. Hate to say it, but Roman's gonna lose the title.
Larry, actually, I've actually met Larry in person. Larry traveled for Killer Instinct for a while, just like I did. He actually plays Orchid as well. He's an Orchid main. So.
Cool.
Yeah. Placed top 32, top 16, actually top 8 at Evo, I think it was, for KI. So big shout out to Larry for stopping by for the podcast. He is about 10 years younger than me, so yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that he likes Roman Reigns so much. But yeah, I mean, Roman Reigns.
We're not hating.
We're not hating. Yeah, we're not hating, man. I mean, Roman Reigns is this generation's Rock, I guess.
Yeah.
Like or this generation's Stone Cold, even. Like.
Nah. I wouldn't say Stone Cold.
You wouldn't say Stone
Cold.
He
ain't that. I don't think he's that polarizing.
He's not that over. Okay.
No.
I mean, Rock was pretty over. I mean, you had to have the one side to the other, right? So, like, I mean, I guess Seth Rollins or Kevin Owens might even be the. They're not working the right angles though for that to compare them very well.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you really can't. Like, I would say Rollins mostly.
Rollins versus Reigns would be Stone Cold versus Rock.
Yeah, I'll say Rollins because that's the closest thing to like they both start around the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Start around the same time or get hot around the same time, whatever. And so yeah, I mean, next show we see what's the next pay-per-view for WWE?
That is a good question. Let me see here. I will check that. WWE Premium Live Events. Because, God forbid, it's a pay-per-view. Schedule.
So
Next one. Okay, so I'm looking it up right now. This one is. We're in September. September. The next one, actually, this one just happened, which was a Superstar Spectacle in India. But the next pay per view is NXT No Mercy.
okay,
The next big one for WWE is Fastlane
okay.
in October.
Yeah. So I see where it says um, on where's this is just MSN, I guess, but via Wrestling World it says Factor Fiction. Roman Reigns is included in advertising for a show in Milwaukee on October 27th. Would that be Fastlane or would that just be a SmackDown or?
I believe it'll be Fastlane, close to that. What day is the advertisement for that
Well,
event?
October 27th is a Friday, so that's going to be a SmackDown.
Oh, 27th? Oh, that's
Yeah.
past that. That's past
Yeah,
Fastlane.
so
That's
if that's actually fact, then. And honestly, I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of glad that it wouldn't be at the pay per view because I've mentioned this before. Man, I mean, Roman's a great champion and all that stuff. I'm just tired of interview or pay per views ending with Roman Reigns coming out for like 10 minutes and then beating people up, and then it's basically the same story. Then the bloodline gets involved and screws over who he's going against, and then he wins. I'm tired of
yeah,
seeing that ending. I want to see something else. Unfollowed.
yeah.
Okay, unfollow me. That's fine. I don't care. But I mean,
Are you
okay.
okay, bro?
I mean, hey, it is what it is. I just don't want to see that ending again. I want to see something else. I mean, Roman Reigns being,
Unfollow from Larry.
yeah, that's what I said. Unfollowed. Yeah, I was like, man, just unfollow me then. But please don't. I mean, I need your view. I need your follow. Come on, Ryan.
We need it.
Come on, bro. We need it. But no, seriously though, like I mean, I just want to see something else out of the end of pay-per-views. I mean, they've done Roman as the main champion. They've done him. They've set him too high. You know, so like,
Yeah.
they put him on such a pedestal that he's untouchable. Nobody can beat him. What if they ended a pay per view? Just end a pay per view like you end some of the SmackDown Championship. Put somebody over. Let Roman keep the title. Have a count out end. Don't have a count out end. I don't know. Something. A DQ end. A DQ finish.
Charlie, I don't think you even know what you want anymore.
No, have Roman lose, but keep the title at the end of the pay per view. But have it tactful.
Roman deserves to have the title for another 5 years to be over. God damn, dude. Dude, we're already tired of him now.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are they gonna do? They're just gonna keep on giving us like the same matches. Like, bro, Cody versus Roman was like the pinnacle of the whole bloodline.
Roman's gonna start another bloodline, but with white people, and we're gonna see new wrestlers come out of that somehow. Somehow we're gonna find out that Sami Zayn is related to them again with the 23andMe test, and we're gonna find out that Sami Zayn is an actual Uso. I don't know, dude. What else can you do with them?
I don't know.
Jimmy's gonna leave again.
I don't know. I mean, and then like Roman has these big long absences from TV. I mean, I get it. It's personal and all that. It might have to do with his leukemia, even. Who knows? I mean,
That's the thing too. Like his health is also high priority as well. So I don't blame them, especially since what happened with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
The precautions they're bound to be doing the same thing with him too, which I don't blame them. I really don't. Like I do get the fact that they have to protect him. I do understand that they have to make sure that he's okay, because if not, something bad can happen. And not only that, too, we might have another Bray Wyatt situation, which we don't want that.
Of course
we really
not.
don't want that.
Yeah, of course not. But like I mentioned, I just don't want to see Roman just like the same story at the end of every pay per view where like Bloodline gets involved and then he gets the win 1, 2, 3 or whatever the case may be. Have him win clean. Have him do a squash match even. Do a fast a squash match at the end of the pay per view and then have something else happen afterwards or something. I don't know.
Like to me, I think it would have been good if Roman beat like Jay clean. Because apparently that was supposed to be like the stipulation. That was how it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But then it got out of hand, and then somehow there were still interferences happening, and it just, I don't know, man. Like I feel like the milk in this cow, and the cow starting to run out of milk.
Yeah.
Um, so they gotta. I do agree with you on that end. We're not saying that Roman Reigns is a bad champion. You know, there's a reason why he is champion.
Yeah.
But the fact that the story's getting stale.
Yeah.
And I can say that because I have my cousin Swolger. He loves WWE more than AEW, so he loves the storylines. He loves like the investments,
There's a
and
KI
he'll
name for you season one cats, Soldier.
yeah, Swolger, yeah.
Yeah.
He basically will tell he basically told me too is like I'm tired of like it makes sense the way that he won, but I'm tired of seeing that make sense.
Yeah. Just something
So I'm
new.
like, yeah,
Just want to see
yeah, yeah,
something new.
like
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Us asking for something new. I mean, what do you do with Roman Reigns after having them on this long, long run? You know, I mean, what's he do in the future?
I don't know. Like, does he go for the title?
Does he go away and take a vacation for a month or two, and then when he comes back, go for another title? Or, I mean, will he have that Hogan or Rock feel by the time he comes back? You know, what's he do? Does he go make movies now? Like, is this the end of Roman Reigns' career after his super long championship reign? So many questions, right? But I guess that's food for thought and food to go home on, right? Like, because yeah, we're at the 2 hour mark now, so we might as well probably need to wrap this thing up. Roman Reigns is the greatest champion of all time, and I'm sick of this blasphemy. Good night. Thanks for stopping by, Larry. Yeah, no, sorry. I think we lost Oscar again. He said, yep, it's time for bed. But regardless, yeah, no, I mean, look, I ain't trying to blasphemy on Roman Reigns or whatever. Yeah, he is a really good champion. And it's cool to see champions of the new era having such long title reigns.
Yeah, we're not used to that.
So I mean,
Like, I'm
Gunther we
like
talked about
I'm
last week, and his longest IC title beating the Honky Tonk Man. Now Roman Reigns. I mean, I don't want to see this for another 10 years or 5 years or whatever the case may be to beat Bruno Sammartino and everybody else, but I mean, I can deal with
yeah.
some of it. You know, I mean, I do enjoy his championship run and the storyline. I enjoyed it, but it's just stale. Just do something new. Have him
I
have him become the leader of a new faction, like Oscar said. I mean, maybe not a white bloodline, quote unquote, but something like have him rebuild the Shield. Except for instead of
yeah.
like Dean Ambrose, have like Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes,
Yeah,
Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. How crazy would that group be?
yeah, you never know. Like, it's not out of the realm of reality.
But
But like, I'll say this. I do I do get that if they want to try and break that record, but you gotta understand when that record was set back then, there was no internet, there was no TV.
yeah,
He was basically the traveling champion.
it was.
Now, and not only that, too, is like it didn't hurt everyone as much because there were other territories back then as well. Now, if you try to break that record now, you're literally screwing over an entire generation of wrestlers that are trying to make it to the business just because somebody wants to break the record.
No.
Like, you got to give them a chance to grow. You got to give them a chance to thrive. You can't just keep it on one guy anymore.
Gotta,
It's not going to work the same anymore like that, honestly.
gotta crawl before you can walk.
Yeah. I do believe that's a good stopping point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I will say good points today. Thank you for providing some of your topics today, Charlie Boy. Thank you for hosting another splendid podcast
Of course.
to this beautiful world of Twitch.
Maybe we'll eventually get them down to an hour and 30 actually, or maybe even less, or an hour
Dude,
actually.
we actually did, but we flew
But
too
we
close to the
didn't.
sun.
But we didn't. We like to talk, and we had interaction with viewers and stuff this time too. So that's cool
Yeah,
too. So I mean, which we want, So I mean, if you guys don't mind sitting around for 2 hours having us around in the background, that's fine, or longer even. But at the same time, yeah, we still trying to shoot for that goal for an hour and a half, like we did the first time, or maybe even just an hour.
yeah.
But so
There's
much
so much wrestling.
content, so much content in wrestling every week. Exactly, so much cool stuff to talk about. Maybe we'll come across like a week that's not as long or something. I don't know, but
Man, I don't know, man. It's an ambitious goal, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it. But it doesn't mean we can't try.
well, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Regardless, we'll see you next week on my Twitch channel live at around 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Twitch.tv/CharlieBoy_. Make sure to catch the VODs at youtube.com/at Wrestlers of Baytown. The at symbol and then Wrestlers of Baytown. I was actually able to secure that. So
Yay, cool.
you should be able to search that way, or you can catch us on Spotify by searching for Wrestlers of Baytown. So,
Correct.
thank you for
Also,
listening. Oh yeah,
also, I feel like our Wrestlers of Baytown logo would be a good shirt for merch
oh
or a
yeah,
mug.
yeah. I can look into that.
Yeah, we need to start growing, if you know what I mean.
A-Town down. Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. Yeah, all Austin versus Rock at WrestleMania 2024. No, no, Austin Theory versus Rock's probably gonna happen at Fastlane. You said is the next one. I could see that. I could see that happening. That'd be an awesome return for The Rock, and then The Rock just whooping the shit out of Austin Theory. Love to watch it. But yeah,
I'm calling this now.
Austin Theory wins.
Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is gonna lose to Chad Gable one day.
Chad Gable.
Yep.
Oh man.
Good night, guys.
All right, guys. See y'all in the next one. Peace out.
Take care. Later.
Later.